You are welcome. Today, before I go into my presentation, there are a few things I need to do. One key member of our team is celebrating his birthday today. He's one of the most popular among them, one of the most remarkable young men around, and it is with joy that I ask Carnison Elijah to join me on camera. Carnison, come on camera. He is normally always hiding behind camera and getting people and taking pictures of people, but this is Carnison, and today is his birthday. I understand he turns 6 today, Anna. Well, Carnison, you're welcome. I would like one member of the team to join me and say to you some good things. So which of you would like to do this? I'd like somebody to come and celebrate Carnison for me. Come. So give him the mic. All right, go on. Yes, go on. That is Ronnie.
Yes, that is me.
Yeah. All right, Ronnie, go.
Oh, community, I think we've been with Carnison for a while. He's one of the incredible guys around. Very helpful, very jovial, and intelligent. I mean, if you're with Uncle Ibo, you have to be very intelligent. That is one of the people who we get that from. Yeah, so happy birthday.
Thank you, bro.
Chai, your shadow will be small.
I follow. Yeah, see.
Okay, I'm done.
Thank you. May this be your best year yet. May there be joy and laughter and love and abundance. For the purposes of his birthday, we begged him to ensure that somebody is in attendance. She has pleaded that we don't put her on camera. So put her, at least give her a voice, give audio. So can you say hello to him?
Hi, sweetie.
Can you hear?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. And what is your message?
Very best of wishes to you on this day. God richly bless you.
Bless you too.
I love you.
Don't cry.
All right. So, happy birthday. Okay, thank you very much. And I happen to have one of my favorite people here. So please put the camera on her and let her say hello. So, surprise! So tell them who you are.
I'm Phoebe Christine Kumson, a master's student from Coventry University. Yes.
All right. So it's good to have you. Wave at them so they would know. Yeah. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I promise you that there's going to be one more acknowledgement. The person has been caught in traffic.
Yes.
It is the birthday of one of my daughters, and as soon as she comes, I'll stop what I'm doing, so we can go because I have something special in store for her today. Well, today we wanted to discuss what men and women look for in a marriage partner. What men and women look for in a marriage partner. Let me begin by saying that we all look for different things, but generally, what we look for somehow merge at a certain point. Now, depending on where you are, what you are looking for in a marriage partner differs. So, for instance, let me run through a few situations. What determines what we look for in a marriage partner is determined by these. One, our gender, whether we are male or female. Men tend to look for something different. Women tend to look for something different. Some qualities may may overlap, but generally we are looking for different things. 2, our financial and economic circumstances also determine what we look for in a marriage partner. For instance, if you are hustling, what you are looking for is very different than when you just won a lotto and money is not a problem. Then at that point, what you are looking for is a trophy. Someone who can come and chop the money for you. 3, our social status or background. The social background that you have also determines what you look for. 4, the kind of career in which you find yourself would also influence what you look for in your marriage partner. 3, your self-image. What you think of yourself, how you see yourself, whether positive or negative, would also determine. Those with positive self-image tend to make the right choices and the best choices. Those with negative self-image always go lower than what they deserve. And then it perpetuates the cycle of their misery and negativity. 6, the kind of goals you have in life would also affect what you look for in a life partner. 7, the level of your spirituality would also influence that. The kind of culture in which you were raised would also influence what you look for in a marriage partner. The friends you surround yourself with and your siblings, your parents, they all influence what you look for. 11, the level of education or exposure that you have. The level of education or exposure that you've had would also affect that. 12, the kind of neighborhood in which you grew and in which you live would also influence what you look for in a marriage partner. Next, the level of your maturity in life would also determine that. What we've discovered is that those who are not mature always look for the externals. Everything they are looking for is based on what they see. Those who are mature realize that beyond that is a real person, and they look for some real things and not how he dresses, because the mature know that looking good can be bought in a store. 14, your age would also influence what you look for in a marriage partner. For instance, when you are young, you tend to be a little choosy. Choosy. As the years roll on, then you begin to get a little bit more realistic. And of course, you also become a little bit more mature, hopefully. And then finally, your past experiences and the experiences of your friends and family would also influence what you look for in a life partner. Now, when it comes to choosing a life partner and what we look for in a life partner, there's a tragedy. There's some bad news, sad news. The sad news is that, and I'm going to define the sad news and the tragedy when it comes to this. 1, we confuse the partner we want with the partner we need. There is always somebody that keeps your heart beating, but that may not be the person you need. It may be the person you want, but not the person you need. And if you do not get a person you need, what will happen is that you will get a person you want and have a lot of frustration and heartache. The second tragedy is that people base their choice only on the external, on what they can see with their eyes and possibly hear with their ears. Now, when you do that, when you then make the choice and settle down and you discover the real person behind the external, you may not be able to cope with the revelation and with the shock of it. 3, people, and again, I'm looking at the tragedy when it comes to what to look for in a life partner. The third is that people have not even asked themselves that question at all. There are people who haven't asked themselves, what am I looking for? What do I need in my life partner? They haven't done that at all. And just like when you don't plan, it's like the difference between drifting and sailing. When you are drifting, you don't need to know where you are going, because anywhere will do. When you are sailing, it may be difficult, but you are able to get there because you know exactly where you're going. 4, people go after features and traits that they should not go after. Depending on what level you are, you may see certain traits and you think that, oh, I want a man like that. I want a woman like that. Only for you to realize that, no. That is not what I needed at all. 5, people put themselves in a situation where they have to make do with what they have. They have to put aside what their values are, what the qualities they are looking for are. A typical one is when you make a girl pregnant and she tells you that in my family nobody does abortion. So once you've made me pregnant, you're going to marry me. Or if you have the kind of parents who can tell you that if you loved her enough to go to bed with her, then you surely must love her to marry her. So then in such situations, the people find themselves in a situation where they have to put aside what their priorities and their real choices would be. And finally, 6, people settle for less. They know what they want, they know what they are looking for, but nobody in that bracket is coming. Well, time is going. This one, the next available person then goes. It's a tragedy, and it is not right. Now, I believe that in all discussions, when anything that has to do with your life, you must always strive to try to understand, why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Why do I think this way? And when it comes to making a choice for marriage, for a life partner, I like to tell you this, that you have a default programming. And the default programming dictates that you look for certain things. So we're going to look for the default programming for women, then we'll turn and look at the default programming for men that make them look for certain things. And then we'll play the higher game. The higher game is now to override the default programming, because default programming often is not what we need and it is limited. You now have to go for a program that you really need, that will give you the kind of results you want, that can help you to get the best out of your equipment. So here we go, the default programming for women. In other words, this is nature talking, makes us do things. Women look for the right seed for their children. The woman knows, I'm going to be a mother. The children must come through the sperm of a man. Now, which man can give the right sperm that will help me give birth to healthy children? So sometimes that's the default program. And a lot of what women say they are looking for sometimes is driven by this, looking at certain things that may drop cues as to whether this is the kind of person. 2, women look for a warrior. So they're looking for a brave man. They are looking for a strong man, because we come from the background and from the evolution of living in communities where everybody was at war with everyone. And therefore, you were not just looking for a husband you can go for dates with and for parties and dinner with, because there was no dinner and dates in those days. You're looking for a man who, when they say choboy, can pick his bow and arrow and go and die for you. And he must not be the one who goes and hide behind the bathroom or climbs a tree to hide. You want someone who would go and charge forward and say, I would rather die than you get my people. 3, women look for men who can play the role of a model to their children. So they were looking for somebody who was wise, because he's going to be the father of the children. The children must be able to look up to him. So it influenced what women look for in a man. 4, they were looking for someone who would be a good provider, someone who would go and bring the game home. And then 5, they were looking for men who would make life a little bit easier, because life was difficult. You have to trek miles and things like that. So they were looking for someone who can bring a little bit of fun, and is behind why women love somebody who is funny and humorous. What about the men? Because the men also have their default programming. And by that default programming, men look for women who can bear healthy children. In one of my research, I read about the community where they determined who can bear healthy children depending on the size of the hips of the girl. You know, and the bigger the hips, they believe that the more room there is for the child to grow in. So Abizika would have been married off 3 times already in that community. 2, men look for women who can manage the home. Again, we're talking about the default programming. Men look for women who can take care of them. We don't say and admit that often, but in looking for a wife, many men are looking for a mother and a nurse at the same time. Someone who can take good care of them. And 4, men look for women who can make them feel good. So that if they are walking down the street, everybody is watching them, and then they will feel that, yeah. Now, how do you override this default programming? Because we need to override it so that we can now make, because the times have changed. The times have changed. We no longer live in environments where we are at war with our next door neighbor, where the next town or the next village is mobilizing to come and take over our harvest and drag our women away. We don't live there in those times anymore. So how do we change that one so that we can now move to the next level where we can look for the right, what we really need? So this is how to override that default programming. 1, ask this question: who am I? Who are you? Who are you? What kind of person are you? Because that will determine what kind of person you will need as well. And you've got to answer that question right. 2, what is your purpose in life? What do you want? What's your life all about? If you haven't answered that question, be careful about going in for somebody, because you are confused and you don't know where you're going. And when you finally decide where you're going, that may not be where your partner may want to go. So determine, what is my purpose in life? 3, what future do you see for yourself? What do you see in your future? 20 years from now, where would you be? What would you be? Ask yourself this. And then the next, what are you doing today to realize that? What future do you have for yourself? What are you doing now in the present to move you towards the realization of what future you see for yourself? And then next, what do you offer? What do you offer a partner, a spouse that is unique? What are you bringing to the table? If you're not bringing anything to the table, life with you is going to be difficult and boring. You must think, what do I bring any woman? What do I bring any man? And don't tell me I bring my my sexual this thing, because everybody has it. Do you understand me? Bring something different. And then the next question, which a lot of people ignore, is marriage for you? Because marriage is not for everybody. You've got to ask yourself, looking at the kind of person I am, my goals, and all I want to accomplish, is marriage for me? And then the final question, can I be a good spouse? Would I be a good spouse? If you say yes, what makes you think so? If you say no, what makes you think so? Do this programming. Do this homework. And as you do that, what you're really doing is that you are now formulating a new program to override the default one. And that will help you to make the right choice. Now, we're quickly going to look at. Now, I began by saying that we all look for different things. Individuals, depending on where you are and all that. So, for the rest of the presentation, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share with you the choices people make, what people have, the choices they have made. And based on some research that was done, I'll share with you, and then that will help you to know, okay, so on the average, this is what people are looking for and the reasons why they are looking for that, and it will help you with your own choice. So I'm dividing this into four. We'll look at the character traits, we'll look at the personality traits, we'll look at the practical skills, and then we'll look at the physical attributes. 4 under 4. So I'll start with women, what women look for in a man under this. Under character traits, this is what women look for. They're looking for faithfulness, and a research found 84% of those who were polled, over 1,000 people, gave this, that's women, gave this as the topmost character traits they look for in a man, faithfulness. The next is dependability. How dependable is he? How reliable is a man? And that got 75%. Kindness followed with 67%. And moral integrity was next with 66%. That is how trustworthy is he? How God-fearing is he? Now, that was character traits. Then they went on to personality traits. And with personality traits, these were the top ones that they were looking for. Sense of humor, a good sense of humor. And that scored with 77% of those who were polled. And then intelligence. Intelligence got 55%. And then passion. Passion, in other words, the man must exhibit that there's something he's passionate about. And that he cares about deeply and is very committed to, because that shows he knows what it is to care about something. And then confidence. The level of his confidence, the more confident he is, the better. And generosity. They looked for a man who is generous, and then after that, all the other wise, full of surprises, warm, or calm. Then focus and goal-oriented. All these were personality traits. Then they look for practical skills. Practical skills, listening. The man's ability to listen and to hear came very high. His gift with romance, how romantic is he, was also very high. And then the next is what I have captioned as sexual mastery. How good he is with that. Ken, stop coughing. I know we need to do a workshop for you and help you. So we'll be praying for you. And then this may surprise a lot of men. Something that women said was great if they found it in a man. Cooking and cleaning.
Oh, yes.
Cooking and cleaning. They wanted a man who had that ability, who could cook, who could clean a little, was a turn on, was a huge turn on for a lot. And then your earning capacity, how much money you can command, was inside there. Now then, that was for practical skills. And then they looked at physical attributes, sense of style, whether the man has style and has class, was one. Two, his general disposition, if it is cheerfulness. Three, how handy he is with his hands. Something is broken down, can he quickly go, a bit of plumbing here, something that the car won't start, open your bonnet and he goes there. Not the kind of man who doesn't even know how to change a tie, you know. All these they were looking for. And it's interesting. And then the general fitness of the man. Because they said when the man is fit, it's indicative of a man who is disciplined and who has self-control. Muscular build, strangely, was very low in the list. It appeared, but it was very, very low. It was not that important. And so that gives a lot of hope to some of my people who are still praying to see one pack. So that is what women look for. Let's turn quickly to, again, under the four headings, character traits, the personality traits, practical skills, and physical attributes. For men, what do men look for in a woman? Here we go. Character traits, Respect was top. Respect. Respect for herself. Respect for me as her man. Respect for my people and my friends. 2, faithfulness. Faithfulness. Men valued, they want to say that my woman is for me. And even if I travel, nobody is coming behind me to browse the net. When I travel, the network shuts down, that kind of thing. 3, kind-hearted. They're looking for a woman who is kind-hearted, and then a woman who is patient, and then trustworthy. Then let's go to personality traits. What men are looking for in a woman: a sense of humor, a big turn-on for men. A woman who has a sense of humor. 2, a woman who is loving by nature. And then 3, what other women do not know: men find intelligence in women sexy. Intelligence is sexy. And then confident. A confident woman is always a sexy woman. It's always outstanding. And then other values came. Now I am going to go down to practical skills. Practical skills, number 1, and that was the top for men: sexual competence. You must be good. You must be good. Being with you must be fun. Must be nice. Must be good. I don't know what else to say. 2, a woman who is good at cooking and managing and running the home was next. And then a woman who is stimulating to talk to, a good conversationalist. Somebody when you're talking to, you feel stimulated because she's got sense. And then the next one, a woman who is playful, who is easy to get along, and who knows how to have fun. And then as men grow older, this is what they look for in a woman. A woman who has knowledge of health issues. So that when they are twitching like that, the guy will say, stop what you are doing, but we'll know, let's get some medicine for him because he's about to have a stroke. Now, and then the other qualities. Physical attributes that men look for in a woman: 1, she must be attractive. Attractive. Ask us and we will not be able to define it, but when we see it, we will know. Attractive. And 2, a woman who grooms herself well groomed. 3, a woman in good shape. And a woman who is cheerful. You realize that we have that in common with the women: cheerfulness. Now, you may have looked at the top qualities people are looking for. You've looked at yourself and you're saying, hey, can I ever meet the expectations of anybody, of my partner? Would I qualify for anyone? Now, this is how you can position yourself to meet the expectations of your partner, no matter what it is they are looking for. These things will help you. These ideas will help you. Number 1, love yourself. Love yourself. Number 2, be genuine and authentic. Be yourself. That is what I'm saying. Don't put on airs. We love the genuine article. 3, be the best version of yourself. This is who you are, but work at being the best that you can be. 4, add value to yourself constantly. 5, stay young in mind, in spirit, and in body. Stay young. Let what is inside you always be young and get youthful inside and outside. 6, learn to understand and to treat the opposite sex right. And then 7, learn to speak your partner's love language. And we've done love languages here. Words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, gifts, and service. And then 8, let that relationship be your top priority. In other words, be committed and responsible. And when you are these, your partner cannot turn away. 9, accept your partner without being critical and judgmental. That's your partner. Don't be critical, don't be judgmental. 10, live your best life. 11, be sensitive. 12, be a student of life and be a student for life. In other words, be teachable. Always be willing to learn and to expand your horizon. 13, stay humble. And 14, be fun and interesting to be with. And finally, master romance. Learn to master romance. Master intimacy. And then later when you marry, master sex. Unless you're like one of my people who haven't read there, but they've already tried it with very unfortunate consequences. Well, that brings me to the end of my presentation of what men and women, and we'll put them all together, look for. We'll take a very short break to talk about the early bird ticket. We have a production coming on late November, but if you buy your ticket between now and 13th November, you would get it for 60 instead of 80. So take advantage of this. Remember, it's up to 13th November, and then it passes, and you have to necessarily pay 80 for it. But we'll take a little break, and when we come back, I have a surprise for you.
Honey, I have laid the bed. Baby, Anaki, tomorrow I have a meeting. I have a business meeting tomorrow.
Sir? Oh, sweetheart. Here, take this.
Get the best-selling novels, The Deal, and Perfect Couple by Uncle WHYTE at 40 Ghana cedis each. Available at all Shell shops, selected bookshops, and total filling stations. For inquiries, call 050-554-6010 or WHYTE.
And thank you for staying with us. I have with me one of my daughters, Gifty Nancy. Today is her birthday, and I asked her to come so we could celebrate her. Gifty, I brought you here to say that I love you. You are a wonderful lady, and I'm so proud of you. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Daddy.
But I know you thought that you came here so I can celebrate you.
Yeah.
But there's a young man who is going to celebrate you even more. Ernest, please come out. Ernest, please come out.
He told
Ernest, what's happening?
he told me he's
Oh, go on.
he told me his boss asked him.
Yes, I'm the boss.
He said
I'm the boss.
he said it's Mr. Ako.
Yes, has done what?
Hey, so you lied to me.
Myself. But yet you picked me up, you dusted me off, and made me into a better man.
Hey.
You made me want and grow a new desire to be the best version of myself.
Hey.
Because of that, I'd like to make a commitment to you. To be your protector, to be your provider, to show the whole world how it means to really love a woman. And as Uncle Ebu always says, love is a decision, not a feeling. I have deliberately made a decision that you are the one that I want to spend the rest of my life with. So, Gifty. You made me the happiest man alive. Gifty, would you make me the happiest man alive and marry me? Will you marry me?
Hey, why are you doing this here?
The young man
Yes.
is waiting for you to take this from him, so take it from him.
Yes. Now it all makes sense.
Now,
It all makes sense. That it was intentional on Sunday. On Sunday.
all right. I wish the two of you all the best. You make a good couple.
Thank you, Daddy.
I believe neither of you is making a mistake in this, and you have good people behind you. The blessing of having good people behind you is that you go further. The disadvantage is that you can't mess up, because if you mess up, I'll be on your case big time. So, Ernest, congratulations. I wish you all the best.
Uncle.
And Gifty,
Daddy.
you'll remember your birthday for several reasons.
Daddy.
All right.
Thank you, Uncle.
Okay, please take the mic from them, because we wouldn't want to hear what they say next. So please take all the mics away from them and let them sort themselves out. Well, that was well done. That was well done, and that is how it is done. For those of you, they've just left the studio. They just left the studio, and we're not going to ask where they are going. Well, this is typical me. I love to be lover planky, and this is that planky at work. If you want to surprise the woman in your life, get in touch. We'll look for ways in which you can surprise her, because I believe that the women in our lives, the women God has blessed us with, deserve something extra. So let's do the extra thing. That will get all their friends talking, and that will get her telling all your children, your grandchildren about what you did and the way you did it. So don't just go to some 2x4 restaurant and do it. Let's do it in style, Let's do it in style. Get in touch, and we would help you. All right. Can we start with the questions? Come again. They don't remember. There must be questions. Otherwise, there's another program that is on the standby. I've said that one of these days we're going to let the married couple come and share how ENCORE has impacted them, because it is not just you watching us who learn. I believe members of my team, apart from just one person, every one of them is learning. But that person will pray for him. He will be fine eventually. Okay. Are we ready to go? Yes. Or I drag somebody here and we do something else.
From Adam on our YouTube channel. Uncle, it's so difficult to answer the is marriage for me question in today's society. Is there anything any individual can do to stay single without appearing haughty in the face of society?
The thing you need to remember is that when people are pushing you to get married, they are about how many? Many centuries back. It's a default programming. When society, we needed children to grow the society. When the only way the population in a village increase is by having children. Now, those days have changed. When we needed labor in the farm, and so you needed to marry and have more children, and the more children you had, the more hands you had on the farm. That was the default programming. The times have changed. We ought to have a new mind, and we have to ask that question, answer that question, and we've got to be able to get to the point where we say that, you know what, marriage is not for me. And what those who have their heads stuck in the past, in antiquity, would say should not bother you. You move on with pride and with confidence.
Uncle, what if women were to choose between sexual mastery and earning capacity?
What will women choose? Oh, they will choose earning capacity. they will choose, the average woman will choose earning capacity. And then they will tell you that as for the social thing, we'll deal with it later. We'll find other ways around it. But as for the money, we may not be able to go around it.
Doreen says, Uncle, what do you do about a male friend who makes you feel so unwanted after you call to check up on him? And you promise not to call him, but you find yourself calling him again. Is it that you care so much, or it's something else?
It's because he treats you like that and you keep calling. That's why he's treating you that way. You know, people will give you the treatment that they know you will take. But if you went out of your way and you called to check and he was rude and shabby with you, why are you calling again? You don't need to call again. Until he's come to apologize. You deserve better than that.
Uncle Nanekia says, Uncle, I want to join the team. Who knows, I can get a husband there.
All right. Two things. In the first place, everyone on the community is welcome to join us. We're looking for a bigger studio so we can bring all of you in and then we can have it as live. That's one. Two, my daughter, who got proposed to today, is not a member of the team. And yet it happened. So you never know. Just pick the right man. And he may call me and then we may plot. And then in your case, who knows, we may do it in church while the pastor is prophesying.
Uncle Nesbitt says, Uncle, I have a couple of women to surprise you. I need support system.
Nesbitt, you have a couple of women to surprise. Okay, Nesbitt, just come and let's plan it. But it will be interesting. I'll teach the women how to fight. And then when we bring them together, I'll tell them, this is your enemy. Beat him. Yes, let's go.
Nikwate is asking, Uncle, please, can you find both needs and wants in one person?
Yes, you can. You can if you ask the right questions. If you did the exercise I gave you to do, you are likely to find the two in the same person.
Mauli says, is it possible to bring out some missing traits you are looking for in your partner?
Come again?
Is it possible to find some missing traits you are looking for in your partner?
Is it possible to find it?
So, my interpretation is that some traits you are looking for are missing in your partner. Is it possible to bring it?
If the person is already your partner, really, it's too late. Because the only thing you can change is you yourself. So in that case, you may have to change that expectation of yours. But you can't quite determine and force it on your partner.
From our YouTube channel, from Z, Uncle, is it good to do a background check about a guy you are considering?
Oh, it is. You must. You must. You must do. The question then is how you're doing it. That's the most important thing.
Essie says, could you please explain the needs versus wants which you mentioned in the beginning? I'm in my early 40s and I often feel pressure to just choose any guy whom I may not love to just satisfy society.
Please resist that, because it's the reason why a lot of women are miserable. They settled for less. If the right person is not coming, don't settle for less. At any rate, trust me, you are not losing much being single. And it is possible you are even living your best life now that you are single than you would if you ever married. So enjoy your life and ignore the ignorant people who come to you and say, hurry up and marry. When are you going to get married? The next time they come to you with that, ask them, show me a husband store, a store where I can buy husbands. And I'll go and buy one.
ShopRite.
And when you ask them that question, trust me, it's not being rude.
From the uncle, is it right? Is it true that women look out for a lot of things than men?
Yes. Yes. And also, women are much more deliberate about this, and it's because you are mothers. For you, for instance, a sexual encounter is not just a sexual encounter. A sexual encounter can result in a 9-month commitment from you when pregnancy comes, and then a number of years as you raise the children. So women are ordinarily are much more deliberate and conscious in looking for certain things. For us men, I mean, if you meet somebody like Uncle WHYTE, I'm looking at the legs. If the legs work, the rest will negotiate.
Judith says, Uncle, please, how do you handle a boyfriend who keeps asking you for money, airtime, food, and other stuff almost every day? Note, please, the relationship is just 2 months old. Please advise me.
Who is this?
Judith.
Yeah.
Judith, your parents are crying. They did not raise you so you can raise somebody's son. And trust me, a boy like this, as soon as he finds his feet, you'll be his first casualty. You are wasting your time and your resources.
From Ellie, Uncle, if you find yourself in a cycle of dating men you know you won't marry, does that mean you really, really don't want to marry?
It depends. I don't know. Why are you dating those you don't want to marry? And why are they also dating you? Do they know you don't want to marry? Or are you dating them whilst waiting for the right one to turn up? And if that is what you are doing, then you are making it impossible for the right man to emerge, because he will see all the people you are dating and he will step back. He will think that you're already occupied, you're already busy, you're already having fun, let her be, and will never show his face. So if these are men you are going nowhere with, don't waste your time with them, so that the one you go somewhere with can feel free to emerge.
Evelyn says, I'm 31 and people, especially my family, make me feel like I am not whole yet. I want to be married, but the questions on a daily basis is killing me.
I know. You are not the only one. It is the plight of every woman who is in her late 20s in Ghana, and it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate because it is... Listen, nobody can be more concerned about the fact that you are not married more than you. You are more concerned about it, and yet these people come, and you know why they are pushing you? They want you to be as miserable as them. Take your time. Don't let them pressure you into a step you are not ready for. If you must get married, let it be because you have found a person you don't want to live your life without, not because your biological clock is ticking. That clock can tick. You'll be fine.
From Roxanne, Uncle, please, how do you deal with a woman who thinks you are a better chef than her?
Come again?
How do you deal with a woman who thinks you are a better cook than her?
You are better at cooking than her?
Yeah.
Love her. What's your problem?
Maybe she's sad.
Is there a problem with that? And also, teach her to cook as well as you do. Because you were not born with it, you learnt it. Your mother taught you. Yeah, let's go.
Ophelia says, is it right to keep your relationship confidential?
It depends at what level of the relationship. Sometimes it's good to let those who care for you know, so that if your partner is hiding anything, because people live double lives, some people more than double lives, then it's a way of getting the information also to you so that you know. There are people who have dated men or women who had families elsewhere, and the only way it came out is when the relationship became public. And then people can come up and say, no, we know him. He has a family at Obuasi, and then it helps you out.
From Tim, Uncle, does love really sustain marriages and relationships?
Love is useless in marriage. You you need love to make the decision, but in marriage, love has very little to do. Respect, trust, honesty, generosity, sensitivity, thoughtfulness. Those are always a sense of humor. Those are much more important than love once the relationship gets into marriage. All right.
Uncle, there's this male friend who is giving me mixed signals. Not exactly sure if he likes me or not. He likes to talk and hang out with me, but he's not precisely mentioned what he wants. On our
Okay.
YouTube channel, yeah.
Make yourself a bit scarce to him. We'll see what his intentions are. Listen. If you are selling asana, and I come to you and you give me a whole calabash full of it to taste, trust me, I won't buy. Because I've had enough. So make yourself a bit scarce. And let's see what he will do. If he feels he's losing you, he may come up and then do what is right. But if you're always available and you're always there, okay, he will take you for granted.
Uncle, please, from Nana Sewa on our YouTube, please, what if you find the one whom you want to spend the rest of your life with, but they look somewhere else?
They are looking somewhere else. That triangle, A loves B, B loves C, and C loves somebody else. Women have subtle ways in which they can call your attention to themselves. Have you tried some of those things? And let's see. But if after all that he's really not for you, you withdraw. And let's see. There's always somebody else who may be better around the corner.
Flexi says, Uncle, my lady didn't accept my proposal. Even though her father wasn't in support, but the father has now accepted. Uncle, can I re-propose to her?
My brother, go ahead and try. After all, what do you lose? You really don't lose. You really don't lose anything. So go ahead. Especially if the father is now on your side. Who knows? It may work this time.
Owusu says, I'm a first-year student in the law school at UCC.
Congratulations.
I'm 32, but thinking if I can marry before I enter Makola. But then I'm confused. Please advise me.
Leonard man, I'm not too sure I have any advice for you. Do you have any economic means to raise a family and look after a family? Go and finish the course. I think it will help you.
From Kwame, on our YouTube channel, Uncle, my girlfriend has all the best qualities I expect in a woman, only that she is really shy when we go out. And I'm not really the shy type when I step out. Is it good to try and bring her out of it?
No, you don't need to. But as long as when you go out with her, you pay her all the attention and let everybody know that this is the woman I came with and she gets all my attention, I think that is all that is needed. After all, you are the only person she wants. And so just keep going out with her and don't throw situations to her that she's not prepared for. Especially since you say she's very shy.
Some men think having sex with a lady makes them bond with her. How true is this? From Maureen in the office of Alfred.
In the office of who?
Alfred.
Maureen, you are brave. You brought your boss into this. Maureen, what do you think yourself? You're a lady, so let me know what you think about that. Let's go on. Are we done?
Felicia says, you are in a relationship you are almost tired of, but your family and your incoming in-laws think you two have to be together. Is that supposed to be a good sign?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Let your people know what is going on in the relationship, and let's see what they think and what they say to that.
From the uncle, do we stop looking for things once we get married, or we keep looking? Won't they lead us outside?
It's one of the things, the challenges of marriage, that once you marry, remember when I was giving you what influences what people look for. So you realize that if you married somebody who was struggling in life, and now he's made it, he's changed, you must change and evolve with him. Otherwise, he's going to look for some other things. When we don't have any money, we want to live in a particular way. When we get the money we want to live in a particular way. And you must be able to make the transition to come along and also project the new status that we have. So we don't quite stop looking. We evolve, we change. And that is why in a relationship, you should always be growing. And you should always stay young.
Your Leonard friend is back. He says, thanks, uncle, but the reason I brought my age in the general view is the general view that people should get married early. How about that too? For economic gains, yes, I can afford, but I'm also looking at the academic load, schedule, and pressure.
Trust me, law is one of the best courses you can ever do. I'm happy you are in. That's why I say congratulations, because it's one of the best that you can do. So finish it. It will help you.
Uncle, my boyfriend loves going out, but doesn't take... Okay, let's be right.
No, we haven't read that one.
Uncle, my boyfriend loves going out, but doesn't take me out. What does it mean?
Well, it means maybe he doesn't have the money to buy the ticket for two. Or it could also mean that he doesn't want people to see the two of you. It can mean all kinds of things. Confront him and ask him. Or it's possible he went out with you once and didn't like the way you responded to a few things and decided not to take you along. So have a chat with him and let's see what the real situation is.
Maureen from the office of Alfred says she thinks it's a lie, but she wants to be sure.
Okay. Maureen, I think you are quite close to the truth. So hold on to that view.
Uncle, what do you make of a guy who thinks he can flirt with as many girls, but doesn't want to hear or have any guy around his woman?
Well, the more of a player you are, the more it pains you when you are played. So I'm not surprised that he has that view. But why would you be hanging around a boy like that anyway? Right. Let's take, I think, the last two questions and then we are done.
Mauli says, she tells me she can't cook for me, wash for me, and yet she asks for virtually everything a man would have to provide for a woman to make her happy. Uncle, who is she?
Who is she? Was that a question?
Yes.
Yeah, who is she?
No, was the last line, who is she?
Yes.
Who is she? Someone who has discovered that you are cheap and can take advantage of you.
From Rusty.
And she is.
At what time can I tell my new man that I have been married before?
Ooh. He doesn't know. Talk to a counselor. Talk to a counselor and manage the situation well. For all you know, somebody has told him already. This is Ghana. Ghana, the correspondents are many. All right, the last question and then we bring this to an end.
Uncle, how do you deal with a demanding lady who you love, despite she knowing your state of finances?
I don't understand.
The lady keeps on demanding for things.
Yes.
Despite the fact that she's very aware of the gentleman's finances not being very good.
Or she knows you don't have it.
So
And she's asking you. Is she not telling you that you are not her class? Monkeys play by sizes. So, no, it's not about the lady. You have a decision to make, so make it quickly. Now, I'd like to... Oh, okay.
One last.
Okay, is that from Chrissy?
No.
Because it... Okay, go.
Our early 40s lady who was being pressurized to get married.
Yes.
She says, I recently bumped into a guy I knew a while back. Though we never dated, he's someone I am attracted to. So we exchanged numbers and we started communicating, and he mentioned he would give me a call. I am still waiting. It has been a few days. What should I do?
Move on. If he wants to take this somewhere, he'll get in touch. He will call you. But don't be the one who is eager to link with him. Otherwise, he may not respect you, and he may not treat you right. Well, with that, we come to the end of today's streaming, and I'd like to thank you very much for staying with us. I'd like to say thank you especially to Phoebe, who joined us, to Adrian, who has been here, to Connison and Connison's beloved, who also graced it. Look, since you've been here, Connison has behaved very well. This is the best we've seen him behave. But of course, the cheer of the day goes to Gifty Nancy and Ernest. So now, Gifty, ask for a copy of whatever it is he poured out there. Oh, you have it. and then frame it. Frame it and put it in your hall. And someday when he's messing around, tell him, come. Yes. Point it to it and say, where did that man go? Where did that man go? I want him back. You are an imposter. Look at this man. Well, thank you for staying with us, and have a wonderful weekend. And God willing, we'll see you next week.
Don't say